Sometimes your closest enemies could become your closest friends. They could teach you something about yourself that you haven't even ever seen, that you haven't even noticed. Sometimes the people who are your closest friends, they could betray you at a heartbeat. Sometimes your family, they could let you down very easily. Sometimes the hardest people to deal with, they could uplift you more easily. And I'm saying this because a believer that you typically see that says that they believe in God, they believe in truth, they believe in all these even forms of prosperity that they put their trust in, they could believe in what is failure. They could be acting out what is failure in their everyday life. And it doesn't mean just because somebody doesn't believe something, it doesn't mean that they're inwardly not seeking to achieve something. They could say they don't believe that life is meant for them to have anything that is valuable, that is worthy, that is feeling accepted. But they realize inwardly, whatever is man's outward rejection is God's inward protection, God's way of protecting a person's energy. God is looking to build somebody in a perfect order that someone hasn't even seen yet. Someone even hasn't, looked at on the surface and said, what is my purpose in my validation? Where does it really come from? And you find out it's not through other people. It's not through what is said face value. It's not what's said that determines loyalty. It's what's proven by action, determination, and the will to truly actually support with every ounce of one's characterization. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but someone, shows what giving looks like. Someone will show what a heart-to-heart from one person to another will actually be like. You don't have to judge based off of words. You judge by the intent, the calibration, the determination of where someone actually is there to give you something that is precious, such as their time and consolidating your time together. There's a lot of hurt that's in this world. There's a lot of things that are unknown, and I really feel like there are people who are born rejected. As soon as they've entered in this world, they didn't fit in this world. And do you know, we are surrounded by a society that has a lot of stereotypes on other people. And if you appear to be labeled by people a certain way just because of how they perceive you, without really getting to know you, without really, communicating with you on a very strong basis to where they could pick up on your experiences of where you're coming from. They don't see your life story. They don't see anything really truly about you. They could judge you vaguely off of appearances. They could judge you the way that you look. They could judge you thinking that if you have some sort of disability, if you have a defect that they feel that you have, they will judge you and they will write you off. People are very superficial, and it doesn't have to be because of material things that they see that someone has. Superficialness could actually come from this mindset of perfection and sophistication that they expect someone to be. If you're not all firing on all different cylinders, if you don't speak a certain way that carries a certain vernacular in the way that someone is wanting you to speak, if you're not on somebody's level that they want you to be on, and they have this within their mind that I want this person to be on my level, they may talk to you very neutral, as if they agree with you because they see something relatively in common that you may have with them. But then you realize that most of the relationship is just talk, because their actions, they portray a different pattern. They start to slowly disconnect. They find criticisms. They find how they could actually take you down and how they could put you down, how they could come up with ways of pinning things on you, make you look like you did something that bothered them, that outwardly offended them in some way. Even when you were just being respectful, you were just being you, having a normal conversation. And a lot of times people wait until they have you off guard. When your guard is down, that's when they strike. That's when they come out and they start acting in their psychological ways of manipulation. And they throw it onto you. Their pattern of how to be manipulative and how they want to pose the right amount of, accusations, subliminally, literally, and a lot of people that you come across, they are very much analytical in all the things that you do and all the things that you say, because they're trying to find something that they could have a reason to set you up, to find a reason to not want to mess with you, to not rock with you, and to then tell other people, possibly, and gossip things about you and say things that are not even true about you, or at least they'll take something out of context, they'll exaggerate, they'll embellish, conversations that you could have had as if you said something derogatory, or that you made up a story, or that you said something that was them feeling sensitive all of a sudden, right? You see, you could be in the wrong just for existing in certain people's circles. And just because you're around people, it doesn't mean that they want you to be down with them. It doesn't mean that they're your friend just because they're talking with you, just because they're even breaking bread with you. You could be in a conversation where you could be speaking about goals together. You could be speaking about, the weather. You could be speaking about whatever it is that you're trying to contemplate, and you work together as a team. But you could be just giving information that they're just wanting to take, that they just want to then use all for themselves. They're looking to use what is for themselves, what you're saying. And they don't really care about them really building any type of, I'm going to say, structure or anything that is solid that they want to do with you. You have to realize that you may not be accepted, you may not be welcomed, really what you think as far as you being someone that people welcome or people accept. It's just a ploy to eventually crush you. People will act like they're your homie. They'll act like they're giving you all types of strategies of information. They may be acting cool with you. They may be praising you. They may be uplifting you on all fronts. They may be speaking wonderful, powerful truths about you, but it's all for the purpose to eventually crush you. And this is what narcissists do. This is what psychopaths do. And you see, the thing is, I could be one of them. I could be someone that could have the intent to lift somebody up and be somebody who is this loyalist in every which way of demonstrating, good characterization. I could use affirmation towards someone and build a rapport, build what I call a trust bond, just to then break that person in half and portray that person. But that's not my character. You see, I could make mistakes. I could accidentally, not even realizing it, because sometimes we do things by human nature. I could show favoritism. Maybe it could be in the sense of a person that gives me more of a connection of vibes. of energy that I could relate to versus someone that doesn't have the same connection of vibes. But that person that may not be as energetic, that could be a more genuine person. And there are things that that person would have in common, but I just may overlook. And this happens because of flawed human, I'm going to say, tendencies. You know, I'm going to say it like this, right? There's a give and take. And there is what you have to look at as far as what are you doing for what is earning someone's trust or someone's respect. One of the reasons I'm also going to say is that there's a lack of respect that a lot of individuals have for each other because you have to be, particularly in a certain bracket, it's like you have to be something that stands out. It's like you have what is the most money that people see that you have, they'll attract themselves to you because money talks. And BS, I'm going to say, is what walks, right? It's funny, if you're broke one day and people, they hate you, if you're a multimillionaire or you're somehow you win the Mega Millions and you're almost at 100-something millionaire, they'll come to you and they'll be with you in a second. You know what I'm saying? It's all about what you end up having tied to you, that people they'll lie to you and they'll say that they rock with you, but it's only because they want to get ahead using what is off of you, taking what is from you. And you know, you could be very spiritual, you could be very much a person that prays to God every single day. It's just you and God, because He doesn't make mistakes. You know, God doesn't put people asunder just by themselves. God doesn't, you know, let people be, you know, suffering at His expense. It's people that they do the suffering to other people. God, I'm just going to say, is all fair. He's all truth. And you take a look at the human heart. All you could do really is, you know, feel your human anger in a way that could be demonstrated in a righteous, forgiving, and, you know, take it as a grain of salt that forgive those who hurt you. Pray for those who persecute you. Pray for those that turn their backs on you. Even Jesus' own Father, God, even forsaked Him when He was on the cross. When He took on all the sins of the whole world, Jesus was forsaken by God Himself. Jesus cried out, He said, Father, why have you forsaken me? So Jesus, He actually went through the greatest forsakenness of all, His own Father, and God's only begotten Son that He forsaken because of all the sins that He ever took. So when your closest friends do that to you, when they, for whatever reason, they decide that they don't want to rock with you, they don't like you anymore, they have a beef with you, they have something that is against you, and you're even falsely accused, and you're used, you feel. Think of it as how even our Lord was forsaken even by His own apostles themselves, His own 12 apostles. They were sleeping in the Garden of Gethsemane. And Jesus says, in a time like this, you can't be awake when the Son of Man is about to suffer what is great angst, tribulation. And He said that the flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing. Don't be surprised who comes out and hates you. Don't be surprised who it is that actually loves you. Don't be surprised who it is that you find out that will put a knife in your back while you're sleeping. Don't be surprised who it is that will really show how they really feel on the inside towards you. There are people that will tell you that they love you so inevitably so, but they have all of the smoke that they have for you inside of them. There are those people that hate you just because you exist and you never did anything to them. You never cursed them, you never reviled, you never backstabbed them, you never did anything against them or their family or people that they love. You were always generous, you were always kind, you were always, respectful, you were always truthful, you always gave them their space, you always respected their boundaries, and you kept it real, you kept it 100. And then they saw all of the things that you did good to them and they treated you like you were an enemy. They treat you like you did something so heinous or so horrific. And this is the price of just being someone who does good in this world, because I believe people reward what is evil rather than good in this world, because this world sadly values and loves what is evil. Someone said this in a YouTube video I was watching. People do not respect kindness. They don't respect, someone that is generous, someone that loves in a way of compassion. They look at that as weak. They look at that as, you don't respect a person that is seen as, to be stepped on, to be crapped on. But that's not the way of the cross. That's not the way of God. You see, it looks very tempting and alluring to be on the side of evil, because those who choose the way of being evil, ruthless, calculated, and, putting fear in people, they could easily end up getting what they want. They'll get, the praise from men. They'll get the praise from family members. They'll get the praise from society. You may have all of the women lined up to want to be with you because of status, because it's something of people respecting someone that is dangerous or that presents a side of aggression, of power, authority, money, respect, that comes with, having a fearful personality. Someone that is ruthless. I'm going to say something like this. I've seen people who were these God-fearing people. They were following once Jesus. They were following, what was charity, what was living an honest life, a righteous life that was following Christ. And because of so much abuse that was done to them and certain betrayals that were so deep, that were so powerfully, thrown and cast onto them, religious people that have really burnt them, people that were other faith goers that were following even Jesus supposedly, would openly betray chosen ones. Imagine a religious, spiritual abuse. People that happen to be saying that they were God-fearing, God-loving, God-embodied, that were very charitable, that were very honorable outwardly. They turned out to hurt those who were on a spiritual path so, I would say, unequivocally to no end. People who have been religiously abused, people who had friends that just turned their backs on them, that ghosted them, that cut them off, and they didn't do anything. When someone was falsely accused, that was trying to live a right life, when they were painted as being people of disgust, like things that were being said about them where they had horrible expressions of just every foul name, every foul psychological, narcissistic type of literal abuse. And I want to just tell you something. Being said that you was a mistake, that you should have never been born, being said that you're someone who is awkward, you're autistic, you're retarded mentally, you're a reject, you should go and die, kill yourself. People that have had things like that said to them, People that have had their own fathers and mothers saying that you should have never been born, you should have been aborted. When the world blatantly, constantly disrespects you, when people constantly are rejecting you throughout life, and it goes back to your own childhood when you were in a youth, and then you grow up and you're experiencing all types of rejection by people because they see something that you have, a defect that you don't see yourself have. The world can judge you and say that you're someone that they don't want to have anything to do with because they may think that you're slow. See, that's the case even with myself. There are people, they judge me a certain way and they think that I'm slow because of how I present myself, the way that they don't act. See, they act differently the way that I act. And I'm just someone who is normally adapted sociably. I'm somebody who can speak the same type of dialogue that other people speak. I have the same type of communication skills that other people communicate very well on different levels. It's just that I'm someone who doesn't fit into the social settings. I'm someone that has a very high awareness in the way I approach things in life and the way that I don't conduct myself with the world's type of trends and belongings. And because I'm not doing what mostly other people are doing in the way that they're doing it, because I may not be fitting in, because what people have, I don't have. The less that I have, the more that people have, the more that they're dealing with a responsibility that they don't want to have. Like if I'm not married, I don't have children, people judge me and they think that there's something awkward, that there's something wrong, that you're a single individual that is a piece of crud, that you're somebody worthless, that you're somebody who's a lowlife. Yet they have a family, they have kids, and they got a responsibility to where they don't even have freedom. Their life is slavery. So you have a trade-off. You may be judging me, and this is coming from people even in the church system. You're not married. You don't have anything going for yourself because you don't have a family. So you're looking at me, it's because I'm free in one regard. I'm free to where I'm not bound by obligation. I didn't bring necessarily a seed that's a child into this world. There are people who have brought children from their seed into this world that shouldn't have never even been brought into this world, because there are those who should have never even been parents. You have children that are brought in there irresponsibly. And yet they know that they're living every day for the 9-to-5 slave system. All of their money is going towards to where they're paying bills constantly. They're paying off mortgages constantly. They're paying off child support if they are having to pay child support. These people aren't free. And the reason why they'll look at you and they say that you have nothing going for yourself is because you have everything that's going for you as far as you having freedom that other people don't have. What is freedom? There are so many people in this system that are in bondage. And when they see that you're a person that is adapting freely, they hate you for it because they wish they was in your shoes. They wish that they can be you. So there's a trade-off of everything. They could have the success outwardly. They could have the house. They could have the car, that nice car to drive. They could have the wife, the kids, but yet they don't have freedom. You may not have that because God chose you maybe for a specific plan, that He wanted to use you for something greater than just having these things of the world. And there's nothing wrong, of having a family, I'm going to say, just by itself. Nothing wrong with having whatever that is given to you, whatever you're able to work for, you're able to achieve and buy. More power to you. But to look at somebody completely different because they may not have those things, and you're judging them based upon what is things that are really confined to what is earthly things. Nothing that we can take with us when we die. Do you know that everyone is a dead man walking or a dead woman that is walking? We're all dead people walking at the end of the day. Do you know that our blood all is red at the end of the day? So what is vanity going to do for you? The vanity mindset, I'm saying. People also don't like it when you're content, when you're living in a way that is being at peace with all situations, whatever happens. You're trying to be peaceful with all people, and you're trying to live where you have a purpose of finding a spiritual seeking of God enlightening you. When people see that you're focused, they want to throw you off. The reason why people will dish you to your face, people will say something that is brutally nonchalant. They'll use psychology. They'll say things like, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" out of nowhere, like when they look at you and they come across you, as if there's something that's wrong with you in the way that they say it to you. Like, "Are you good?" "Yeah," like, "What's up with you?" All of this is to throw you off your spiritual path. Everyone has their own walk that is spiritual. And some people find, God literally, where God is present inside of their actual life, to where God is their life that they are embodying, and they're actually doing what is of the will that is of God. That most people may not ever even know what is a will that is of God on this path that they may be in this life seeking. Some people become very jealous, or a lot of people become very jealous when they see somebody that is spiritually becoming rich, spiritually becoming one that is fulfilling a purpose, where a lot of people never find what is fulfilling a purpose. So they become angry, they become envious, they become hateful. That's why you get all of these attacks. It's not because of what you have necessarily or what you don't have outwardly. It's where you're potentially going that people don't want you to go, because it's reminding themselves also of their failures. And people like to see what is failure be shaped in front of them, because it reminds them that their failure gives them justification and comfort, knowing that someone else doesn't succeed or someone else doesn't go anywhere where they don't want them to go. That's why we are alone vessels in this world. If you're chosen, you have to understand that people are going to hate you just for existing. People are just going to lie to you. They're going to say all of whatever they can to make you feel like you're of value to them, but you're really not. It's what they really, in the end, will just tear you down. They'll build you up only so that they can crush you in the end. That's what I've learned. That's what I've come to realize.